Have you ever stood up and felt like your legs just weren't there? Not pain exactly. Not yet, just a strange moment where your body felt one step behind your mind, like walking across the kitchen, and suddenly wondering if you're steady enough to carry that cup of tea. It's easy to brush off, isn't it? I just moved too fast. I haven't stretched today, probably just tired. But deep down, something whispers. What if it's not just that? What if the very foods you've trusted your whole life, the vegetables that once meant health and strength, are now slowly, silently, stealing your balance, dulling your clarity, weakening the legs that carry you forward? It happened to Evelyn, to Robert, to Gerald, and it could be happening to you without a single warning sign loud enough to notice. There's a reason you're here right now, and I hope you'll stay with me, because what you're about to discover could bring back more than just steady steps. It could bring back your sense of control. It starts with something small, a plate of food, a quiet lunch, a familiar rhythm in your day. You sit down, and as your fork hovers above the vegetables you've eaten for years, a thought arrives. Am I still eating what's right for me? You remember when these same meals made you feel strong, clear-headed, ready to walk, drive, do chores. But lately, your legs feel slower, the stairs a bit steeper, balance not gone, but not quite as steady. You catch yourself holding the railing tighter than before. And the question returns, louder this time. Is my body trying to tell me something? For so long, food was comfort, routine, memory. You knew what to eat because you always had. But aging, it changes things. Your body, once quick to recover, now pauses, inflammation lingers longer, energy dips faster, and the vegetables you've always trusted might not be your allies anymore. Now, before we go any further, this isn't about fear, it's about awareness. Because just as some vegetables lose their power for your body over time, others quietly become more important than ever. Vegetables that don't just nourish, they protect, they restore, they hold up the parts of you that feel just a little more fragile now. Your knees, your circulation, your vision, your independence. This is about learning with kindness, listening with patience, and choosing again with wisdom. Take Evelyn, for example. She's 74. She still cooks every day in her little kitchen in Michigan, still walks her dog twice a day, rain or shine, but she started to notice. The dog pulled harder than she could keep up, the stairs up to her bedroom a little more effort, and her left knee always a whisper of ache. By evening, she didn't panic. She just got curious. She looked at her plate, not with guilt, but with new eyes, and that curiosity, it led her to one small change, one green shift on her plate. That change, we'll talk about it soon. But first, let's sit with this moment, because maybe you're here not for information, but for confirmation, a sense that your body is not betraying you. It's asking for something new, and now, we listen to what heals, what helps, what holds us steady, and just like Evelyn, you might find the answers are closer and quieter than you ever thought. She didn't expect much. Just added a little green to her plate at lunch, didn't change her routine, didn't stop her favorite recipes, just 1 cup. Lightly steamed. 3 weeks later, she noticed she wasn't rubbing her knees after climbing stairs. A month in, her morning walk felt lighter. That's what Evelyn did. She gave broccoli a second chance. Yes, broccoli, the vegetable most kids push aside, the one most adults eat out of obligation. But for anyone over 60, it's not just food. It's function, it's defense, it's protection hidden in tiny green florets. You see, as we age, the body loses some of its natural armor. Inflammation sneaks in. Muscles don't bounce back like they used to. Bones become more brittle, more vulnerable. That's where broccoli steps in. It carries a compound called sulforaphane. You don't need to remember the name, just know this. It's a microscopic defender. It helps flush out toxins, calm inflammation, support your joints, vessels, even your brain. Think of it like a quiet guardian for your body, one that shows up without making a fuss, one that knows your legs need more help than they used to. Sulforaphane improves blood flow, especially to your lower limbs, which means less tingling, fewer nighttime cramps, stronger, steadier steps for folks managing diabetes or sluggish circulation. That's not just helpful, that's hope. And it's not just about blood flow. Broccoli brings vitamin K and calcium, both crucial for bone strength. You know what a small fracture can do at this age: weeks of recovery, reduced mobility, and a hit to your confidence that's hard to bounce back from. But bones fed with the right nutrients, they heal, they hold, they carry you through more of life's moments. Broccoli even helps soften the aging of arteries. It keeps them more elastic, more open. So blood can move where it needs to go. That means lower blood pressure, less heart strain, and better oxygen flow to your brain. Yes, your brain, because sharper memory, quicker thinking, that's not just wishful aging, that's cellular health. And this humble vegetable supports all of it. But here's the part that matters: how you cook it. Boiled until mushy, you've drained the very nutrients you need. Lightly steamed until it's bright green, still firm, that's the magic spot. Add a drizzle of olive oil, maybe a little garlic. Now it's healing. And delicious. You don't need a mountain of it. A small cup a day, enough to support your legs, your heart, your confidence. Evelyn didn't become a nutritionist overnight, she just listened. And her body responded, quietly, steadily, like a whisper turning into a strength. And if broccoli can do that, what else are we overlooking? What other foods could be fighting for us behind the scenes? Let's meet another one. A leaf you may already have in your fridge. And a story that might feel just like yours. It's just a handful of leaves, soft, green, easy to miss. But inside those leaves, something powerful lives. Robert had no idea. He's 69, retired, still goes fishing twice a week, still loves his morning walk with coffee in hand. But lately, he'd stand up too quickly and feel lightheaded. Just for a second, but enough to make him grab the counter. He told himself, it's just age. It's nothing. But it kept happening, until one morning his daughter made him a smoothie: spinach, banana, almond milk. He didn't think much of it, but a few weeks in, the dizzy spells were less frequent. His morning walk felt smoother. And the weight in his legs a little lighter. He hadn't changed his meds, hadn't added a new workout, just spinach. This quiet green is rich in natural nitrates, and not the bad kind. These are plant-based helpers that widen your blood vessels. They keep your circulation strong, so your muscles get oxygen, your brain gets clarity, and your feet, they stay warmer, more alive, because blood flow is everything, especially as you age. It's the difference between walking confidently and feeling like your legs drag behind you. But spinach does more than move your blood. It sharpens your mind, inside every leaf. Lutein and folate, two nutrients your brain absolutely craves. They help preserve memory. Keep your thoughts clear. Protect the speed at which your brain processes life. Spinach doesn't just feed your body. It guards who you are, your stories, your sense of direction, the way you remember your grandson's face. And here's another gift. Spinach loves your eyes. Lutein and zeaxanthin go straight to your retina. They protect the part that sees detail, so reading becomes easier, faces stay familiar, and colors stay vivid even when the world dims. But like all good things, how you prepare spinach matters. Raw is fine, but for some, it can feel tough on digestion. A quick sauté with olive oil, a morning smoothie, that's comfort, that's support. That's bioavailability, your body saying thank you in ways you can feel. Robert still has his smoothie every few days, sometimes with blueberries, sometimes with pineapple, always with spinach. He doesn't call it a miracle, he just calls it what works. And maybe that's enough, because this isn't about finding the perfect superfood. It's about finding what supports you, quietly every day. Spinach doesn't need a spotlight, it just needs a place on your plate. And when you pair it with broccoli, you've got two gentle warriors, working behind the scenes, so your body can do what it was meant to do: move, remember, live. But we're not done yet. Because there's one more friend in this trio. A root you've known since childhood, sweet, crunchy, and more powerful than you might think. She thought it was her legs, but it wasn't. Linda was 74, living on her own in a quiet Texas neighborhood, still drove to church on Sundays, still made her famous chicken soup from scratch. But one afternoon, stepping off a curb downtown, she nearly fell, not because her legs gave out, but because she didn't see the edge clearly. That moment rattled her. She didn't want to admit it, so she told herself, I was distracted. Maybe the sun was in my eyes, but deep down, she knew something had changed, and that something led her to carrots, yes. The humble, everyday carrot, the one we snack on without thinking, the one grated into slaws, tossed into soups, sliced for grandkids, but for aging bodies, carrots carry more than crunch. They deliver confidence. Inside every orange stick is beta-carotene, an antioxidant your body turns into vitamin A and vitamin A. It feeds your vision. It sharpens your night sight. It helps your brain communicate clearly with your muscles. Balance isn't just about strength. It's about how fast your nerves send messages, from eyes to brain to feet, and carrots support that chain. They help your body notice the edge of a step, the curve of a sidewalk, the tilt of a rug on the floor. That's not small. That's safety. That's independence. Linda didn't overhaul her diet. She just started adding carrots, grated in her oatmeal, blended into soup, snacked on raw with a little hummus. She says it helps her feel more present in her steps. That's how she puts it, and honestly, it's perfect. Because that's what carrots do. They help you stay in the moment, on your feet, in your rhythm, without hesitation. And there's more. Carrots are high in fiber, which helps stabilize blood sugar. Why does that matter? Because wild sugar swings damage your circulation. They affect how your feet feel, how fast you react, how much energy your legs hold by evening. Stable sugar, that means fewer cramps, fewer burning sensations, more trust in your own body, and carrots deliver that consistently. Gently, no fancy prep required. Just keep them crisp, lightly steamed or raw. Don't overcook them. Linda still eats hers every day. She says it's not about being perfect. It's about staying upright, staying clear, staying her, and that is everything. If you've ever felt a moment like hers, where the world tilted, just slightly, you're not alone, and maybe a handful of carrots could quietly help you find your footing again. But while some foods support, others, well-intentioned, beautiful even, can slowly wear us down. Without a sound, without a warning, let's take a closer look at what might be hiding in your kitchen. He always thought it was healthy. Grilled with olive oil, tucked into casseroles, tossed into warm, hearty stews, Carl loved eggplant. He was 68, lived in Ohio. Still mowed his own lawn, still built birdhouses in his garage every weekend. But over time, he noticed something strange. His knees felt stiffer in the morning. His ankles didn't bend quite the same, and the stairs felt longer. At first, he blamed it on age, but his daughter, she's a nutritionist, asked about his meals, eggplant, nearly every day. That's when the conversation began, because for some people, especially after 60, eggplant carries a secret. It looks innocent, that deep purple skin, the smooth, rich texture when cooked, but beneath the surface, it holds solanine, a natural compound found in nightshades, like eggplant, tomatoes, and potatoes. In small amounts, solanine isn't dangerous, but in sensitive bodies, it sparks low-level inflammation, not the kind that knocks you over, the kind that whispers in your joints, in your ligaments, in the quiet moments when you stand up and feel tight, the kind that makes you skip your walk or hesitate at the first step. That's what was happening to Carl. He didn't see it. He didn't feel it. Not right away, but the stiffness grew, the mornings were slower, the movements less certain. When he paused eggplant for a few weeks, something shifted. The mornings came easier. The stairs didn't push back. His body breathed easier, and he realized, sometimes the foods we trust aren't the same foods our bodies trust anymore. It doesn't mean eggplant is bad for everyone, but if you're noticing a dull ache, a stiffness that hangs around, a feeling that your legs are just a step behind, it might be time to listen and to experiment, because how you feel matters more than how something looks. And the tricky part, cooking eggplant doesn't make much difference. Grilled, roasted, simmered in sauce, the solanine stays. That doesn't mean you need to fear it, but it does mean be curious. If something in your body is asking for less pain, for more ease, then try stepping back for a while, replace it with zucchini, with squash, with vegetables that soothe, not irritate. Carl didn't miss his eggplant as much as he thought he would. He missed feeling light, feeling steady, feeling ready to take on the day. And that's what he got back, one small change, one quiet shift, and a body that said, yes, that's better. So look at your plate again, not with judgment, but with a gentle question. Is this helping me feel like myself? Because sometimes the most beautiful foods carry the heaviest cost. And there's another one. Bright, crisp, and sitting in nearly every fridge. Let's go there next. It looks so fresh, so harmless, bright green, crunchy, piled high on every salad bar, tucked into sandwiches, sliced for color and crunch, the green bell pepper. But for Judith, it was something else. She's 70, lives in Florida, still goes to yoga twice a week, still bakes cookies for her grandkids every Friday. But lately, her ankles felt off, not painful exactly, just a little numb in the mornings. A strange wobble when she stood up, a quiet sense of being unsteady. She thought it was sleep, or the weather, or maybe just aging. But one night, flipping through a health article, she paused, nightshades, that word again, and there it was. Green bell peppers. Judith realized she'd been eating them almost daily, in salads, in omelets, in stir-fries. They were her go-to. But like eggplant, green bell peppers belong to the nightshade family. And they carry a compound called lectins for some bodies, especially those with sensitive digestion, arthritis, or nerve issues. Lectins irritate. They interfere with nutrient absorption. They trigger low-level inflammation. They quietly chip away at balance, clarity, and comfort. Judith decided to experiment. She swapped green for red. Red bell peppers are just ripened versions, sweeter, softer, and with fewer lectins. A month later, she felt steadier, the tingle in her feet less frequent, the morning unsteadiness calmer, and her energy more even. She hadn't taken a pill, hadn't added a supplement, just listened, and responded. That's the thing with aging. Your body speaks softer. It doesn't shout anymore. It nudges. It hints. It hopes you'll notice. And green bell peppers, they may not cause chaos, but they can cause discomfort, especially when eaten often, especially when your body's already navigating changes. Cooking helps. Yes, it reduces lectins, but not completely. And when there's a gentler choice available, why not make the swap? Red, yellow, orange, all the color, all the flavor. Less of the baggage. Judith still eats her peppers, just not the green ones, and she says it's not just her feet, it's her peace of mind, knowing she's feeding her body something it can welcome, not resist. So next time you see those bright green slices, pause. Ask yourself not just, is this healthy? But, is this healthy for me? Because food isn't just nutrition, it's communication, and your body, it's been trying to tell you something all along. Let's keep listening, because there's one more comfort food we need to talk about, one that tastes like home, but may quietly be weighing you down. It was part of every family dinner, mashed with butter, roasted golden brown, folded into stews that smelled like Sunday, white potatoes for Gerald. They were comfort. He's 73, lives in Colorado, plays cards with neighbors every Tuesday, and every night, without fail, he'd bake a potato for dinner. It was tradition. It was easy. It was familiar. But slowly, his legs began to cramp at night. Not hard, just enough to wake him, and walking upstairs, it felt heavier. Like each step asked a little more. He chalked it up to age, to less exercise, to sleeping funny, but something inside nudged. Could it be the food? That's when he learned the truth. White potatoes are loaded with simple carbs, which means fast sugar spikes, and just as fast, crashes. Now that might sound harmless, but inside your body it's a storm. Those quick spikes inflame tiny blood vessels, especially in your legs and feet. Over time, that means slower healing, more numbness, cramps, tingling, and a creeping sense that your body doesn't quite rebound like it used to. And it gets more serious. Those sugar swings, they stiffen your arteries, make it harder for blood to reach your lower limbs, and when blood can't move freely, your legs tire, your feet chill, your balance wobbles. Gerald didn't know any of this until he switched sweet potatoes instead, a side of sautéed greens, less butter, more olive oil. And within weeks, the nighttime cramps almost gone, the stairs manageable again, he said it felt like a fog had lifted from his legs. Like they remembered how to move. That's the quiet cost of white potatoes. They don't seem dangerous. But for aging bodies, they create inflammation, they strain the heart, and they offer almost no antioxidant defense. Compared to carrots or sweet potatoes, they fall short. Their pale flesh doesn't protect, it doesn't heal, it simply fills, and sometimes that's not enough now. Does this mean you can never enjoy them again? Of course not. But treat them with care. Eat them less often. Balance them with greens and protein. Or try mashed cauliflower, roasted squash, or baked sweet potato with herbs. Comfort doesn't have to come with a cost, because every meal is a choice. And when Gerald made his, he got back more than strength. He got back trust in his body. And maybe that's the most comforting thing of all. So look at your plate, not with guilt, but with curiosity. Ask yourself, is this helping me heal? Because the meals that brought us comfort yesterday might need a new chapter today, and now that we've seen both sides, the foods that fight for you, and the ones that quietly fight against you, let's talk about what to do next, what to swap, what to keep, and how to make these changes. Without giving up the joy of eating, you don't have to give up flavor. To gain strength, you don't have to sacrifice joy. To protect your body, that's the beauty of this next part. It's not about cutting things out, it's about swapping in something better, something that works with your body, not against it. Take white potatoes. Instead of saying goodbye forever, try sweet potatoes, naturally sweet, rich in fiber, packed with beta-carotene just like carrots. They keep your blood sugar steadier, they support your nerves, and they taste like home. Without the crash, roast them with rosemary. Mash them with a touch of cinnamon and olive oil. Cube them into stews, comfort. With a twist of protection. And those green bell peppers, swap them for red or yellow. They're ripened versions, gentler on digestion, lower in lectins, higher in antioxidants. Same crunch, brighter flavor, more support. Try them raw with hummus. Roasted and layered on a sandwich, sliced into a warm veggie stir-fry. It's not about doing less. It's about doing smarter. Even eggplant, if it causes stiffness, substitute zucchini, or yellow squash or portobello mushrooms for a meaty texture. Your meals stay full of variety. But your joints, they get to breathe again. You don't need to remember all of this today. Just pick one swap, one change, then give it a few days, a week. See how your body responds, because this is about tuning in, not tuning out. You're not following a trend, you're following your body's wisdom. And there's something powerful about that, something grounding. It reminds you that healing doesn't require perfection, just awareness, just presence. Judith, Robert, Evelyn, they didn't overhaul their lives. They just paid attention, and they gave their plates a little more thought, a little more kindness, and their bodies answered. If you're still here, it means you're listening too, it means you're curious, you care, you're ready not for rules but for restoration. So let's keep going. Let's put all this knowledge together. And look at what it really means. To choose food as care, to choose your meals as medicine, to choose yourself. It's not just about food anymore. It's about freedom. Every swap you make, every mindful bite. It's a quiet declaration. I still choose how I feel, and that choice, it ripples through everything, into how you walk, how you sleep, how clearly you think, how confidently you stand up from your favorite chair. Because here's the truth, you are not powerless in this stage of life. You're not stuck. You're not too late. You're not beyond change. In fact, you might be more in charge now than ever, because now, you see, you understand that the body is speaking. That discomfort is a message. That energy isn't just about age, it's about what you feed. Take a step back and look at what you've done. You've turned a routine plate into a tool. You've turned curiosity into strength. You've turned quiet aches into conversations with yourself. You've shifted from reacting to responding. That's not small, that's power. And when you begin to notice how food makes you feel, not just taste, that's when the real healing begins, because your body is brilliant, Even now, especially now, it knows what helps. It knows what harms. It just needed you to listen. And you did, you chose broccoli. Not because it's trendy, but because it steadies your knees. You chose spinach. Because your thoughts matter. Because clear thinking is still yours to keep. You chose carrots. Because seeing clearly might just save you from that one misstep. You stepped away from eggplant. Because you trust your body's quiet resistance. You left green peppers behind. Not out of fear, but out of love, you adjusted your plate. And felt your balance return. And now you walk into the kitchen differently. You don't look for calories, you look for connection. Will this help me today? Will this hold me up tomorrow? That's the question. That's the new compass. And every time you answer it, you reclaim a little more strength, a little more clarity, a little more of your life. Because aging isn't about losing, it's about learning what to let go. And what to hold closer than ever, your health, your independence, your voice in your own story. And it all begins with what's on your plate, right here, right now, not tomorrow, not next year, now, because today is always the first day of what's next. Let's step into it, together. So here we are, after a journey through 6 simple vegetables, 3 that lift you up, and 3 that quietly hold you back: broccoli, spinach, carrots, each one, a gentle ally, not loud, not flashy, just quietly working, to steady your steps, sharpen your thoughts, and soften the years that settle into your joints. Then, eggplant, green bell peppers. White potatoes, not villains, not poison, but maybe no longer the friends they once were, and that's okay, because growing older isn't about staying the same. It's about adapting, about noticing, about choosing again, this time with more wisdom. And the most beautiful part, it's never too late. Every small shift, every better bite, becomes part of a new story you're writing, not one of restriction, but of restoration, not fear, but freedom. 1 cup of steamed broccoli, 1 handful of spinach in your smoothie, 1 raw carrot on the side of your plate. It doesn't take a miracle. It takes consistency, because healing is quiet. It moves like the sun across your skin, slow, steady, undeniable. And yes, there will be days you reach for comfort, a bite of mashed potatoes, a slice of casserole with eggplant, an old favorite made the old way. That's life. But now you'll notice how it feels. Now you'll hear what your body says back, and that's the gift, not just knowing better, but knowing yourself better. So tonight, maybe you steam some broccoli, maybe you skip the green pepper, maybe you swap in sweet potato, not to fix something, but to feed something, your strength, your peace, your trust in your own 2 feet. Because food isn't just fuel, it's care. And you deserve to be cared for, every bite, every day. Thank you for walking this path with me. Thank you for choosing to stay curious, to stay kind to yourself. And if something in you feels lighter, more hopeful, more grounded, hold on to that, nurture it, because that feeling, that's the beginning of something beautiful. 1 meal, 1 moment, 1 step at a time.